Toverland will become the best theme park in the Netherlands. I know that's a very bold statement, especially since the Efteling is for most people the #1 in this country, but I'll tell you why Toverland is on their way to slap the Efteling right in the face. But first, hi everyone, as always my name is Thibaut and I have been a theme park enthusiast since 2004. A few weeks ago I had a day off and I visited Toverland, which is located in the Netherlands. Main reason for visiting Toverland was of course the expanded Avalon area in the park, which reopened on the 1st of July. For the ones that don't know anything about this park, Avalon is a beautiful themed area based on the stories of King Arthur and sorcerer Merlin, and it used to house two amazing rides. One being a slow-moving boat ride with a very nice dark ride portion named Merlin's Quest. The other one an adrenaline-packed B&M wing coaster Fenix with several inversions, which is at this moment the only wing coaster I did so far, but it's really an amazing one. It's a bit short, but it's pretty intense actually. But those were basically all the rides you could do in this huge new area since 2018. So this year Toverland, however, is making sure the dwell time in Avalon is going up and people would stay longer in what is probably the most magical area in this park. And they did this in style with the addition of not just one ride, not just two rides, not just three rides, no, they added a whopping 4 new rides in this area. Jumping Juna is a small ride for kids, similar to, for example, the frog rides in the Plopsa parks. Garden Tour is an outdoor ride in a slow-moving vehicle through Merlin's magical garden. Dragonwatch is an intimate parachute drop tower, providing a bit of thrill for the smaller thrill seekers, and additionally giving you nice overviews over Avalon and the surrounding lakes. And last but not least, right in the middle of the helix of Fenix, which is really an intense helix by the way, Jesus Christ, they decided to build an amazing looking Gerstlauer Skyfly ride called Pixarus. And thanks to this ride, Avalon looks a lot more beautiful, and above all, it looks more alive actually. There is more movement, there is more things to look at. But do these kind of simple rides really make Toverland the best theme park in the Netherlands? Of course not. Except for Pixarus, these are just kids rides which are not going to draw like the bigger thrill seekers to Toverland, for example. But when looking at the overall park, these are great additions to the already pretty amazing lineup of rides in this park actually. And when looking at the storytelling and the theming they are adding to their new rides, not only now but also the other additions in the past 5 to 10 years, they are slowly but steadily clearly coming after the Efteling. They have a clear end goal in mind, which is being the #1 theme park in this country, and they are proving every time they could be able to achieve that goal actually in the next 10 to 20 years. Recently I actually posted a video on TikTok about these new rides in Toverland, while also calling it one of the best theme parks in the Netherlands, and I was surprised how many people would never consider this park to be one of the best in this country. It made me actually wonder how many of these people visited the park in the past 10 years, because a lot has changed since then actually, and with a lot I mean a lot. When Toverland opened back in 2001, it was just a small indoor amusement park aimed at families with smaller kids, and it was just nothing spectacular, and certainly nothing compared to the Efteling, for example. But in those 22 years since then, this park has grown from a small indoor hall to a middle-sized, mainly outdoor theme park with 5 roller coasters, from which one is an amazing wing coaster, which I talked earlier about, and one is Troy, which is considered one of the best wooden roller coasters in the world actually. And the shift from a small indoor park to an outdoor park happened gradually over the years, but it has really become like the main route of this park since the expansion of the park in 2013. And it has proven to be a very successful choice, as the amount of visitors is growing rapidly over the years, and the park is expanding at a pace which is really unseen actually. In a bit more than 10 years time, this park has grown from this to this. It has almost doubled in size. Same as their visitor count, which was around 500,000 in 2012 and around 1 million in 2022. It's crazy. But I know the Efteling is bigger, the Efteling has more rides, the Efteling spends a lot more money, and the Efteling has a lot more, visitors. But when looking at what Toverland has achieved with a much more limited budget and less visitors, that is incredible actually, that is mind-blowing. When looking at newer Efteling rides, like for example Baron 1898, Max and Moritz or Symbolica, the theming in Avalon is for sure, in my opinion, on par with the level Efteling achieved with those modern rides. Avalon looks amazing and could easily fit into the modern Efteling actually. Toverland was really able to create an as immersive area, which in my opinion is one of the most beautiful ones in this country. Sorry Efteling fans, as much as I like the drop of dive coaster Baron 1898, Fenix is just a lot better. It's a longer ride, it has a much more interesting layout, it is even more beautifully embedded in the surrounding areas, it's just better. Now the dark ride section before the lift hill is not really wow, but it's not that much difference actually. But the queue and the station of Fenix are pretty nice in my opinion too. Although a bit dark, Toverland really adds some light to the queue of Fenix. But next to Avalon and the immersive theming there, the rides itself in the rest of the park also are really good actually, and definitely on par with the kind of rides at the Efteling. Troy, a much better wooden coaster than Joris and the Draak. Dwervelwind, in my opinion, a lot more fun than for example Max and Moritz or Vogelrok. Booster Bike, short coaster but definitely a fun one, something pretty unique also compared to the other coasters in the Efteling. Fenix, as said earlier, this is much better than Baron 1898 and a lot better than Python. Merlin's Quest, definitely on par with Gondoletta in my opinion. We are talking about another kind of surroundings of course, but in my opinion Merlin's Quest looks really nice actually, especially with the addition of the bigger than expected dark ride section in the middle of the ride. Because if you're expecting like just a small boat ride on a lake, this is just such a great extra. It's really well done actually. But there are also things the Efteling is better at, of course, like real full-blown standalone dark rides. Yes, this is something Toverland is absolutely missing, but as said earlier, when looking at the modern style dark rides in the Efteling, such as Symbolica for example, and the level Toverland is achieving in Avalon, I am betting my money on the fact that one day soon Toverland is going to add a really amazing immersive dark ride, which is on par with Symbolica. And I cannot wait to see that happen. But don't get me wrong, I don't hate the Efteling, not at all. This park is still amazing, it's extremely beautiful. I cannot tell a bad word about this park either, but Toverland, they are doing some great things. It's also amazing to see a theme park which used to be like a small kids focused park, which is on a mission here to become the biggest theme park in the Netherlands. I mean, the fire they have in them and the audacity they have to really make such big and bold steps, that's so interesting to see. It kind of reminds me a bit of what happened in Belgium actually, when Plopsaland, which was purely aimed at kids, started to expand their lineup with rides more focused on adults and bigger kids, like for example the Super Splash and the Star Flyer back in 2006, Anubis in 2009, and the Ride to Happiness, which is considered one of the best roller coasters in the world. Back then, Belgian theme park enthusiasts were shocked that such a small kids park was opening these kind of big rides, but it has proven to be a very successful choice in the end, and people are really embracing that park a lot more now and taking it much more seriously. So I actually see Toverland going that same route, or even a better and even bolder route as compared to the Plopsa Park, as Toverland's way of storytelling and theming is actually even better than what Plopsa is doing. So for those people wondering what park to visit in the Netherlands soon, maybe just for one time only just once, consider Toverland. Give them a chance to show you what they have up their sleeves. Let them try to convince you why they are worth every euro cent. And I'm sure you will have an amazing day there. It's a park with great coasters and some other great rides. It lacks a dark ride or a real trail ride, but I can tell you now, for example, Booster Bike, Dwervelwind, Expedition Zork, Troy, Pixarus, Fenix. These rides will give you a lot of fun already, really. And with those wise words, I'm going to let you enjoy your day. If you want to see more, make sure to have a look at my 360-degree on-ride videos in various other parks, or let me tell you more about other parks I visited in my park reviews, and maybe we'll see each other again on this channel or in a theme park. See ya!